British contemporary conceptual artist and painter Michael Craig Martin has recently presented his first solo show since 1983 at a London public institution. Transience has been exhibited at the Serpentine Gallery from the 25th of November 2015 until the 14th of February 2016. It not only brought together works from the 1981 to 2015, but also featured a new sculpture, light bulb, exposed at Kensington Gardens, along with a wallpaper specifically produced for the exhibition. The artist mainly focused on exploring the ever-changing world of technology. He analyzed the seismic shift from analog processes to digital technologies, consequently leading to the production and distribution of new kinds of objects in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. We had a chat with him and discussed over the idea behind the exhibition, the breakdown of the relationship between form and function, and last but not least, his past works and achievements. You have encouraged the young British artist generation. You work for the Freeze exhibition with Damien Hirst. And that's a clear sign that you support young artists. So what do you think about this generation? Regarding technology, personally, I think that it might obstruct our creativity because of all technological devices that we have around us.
Technology is just a tool, and there's no reason why art should be better or worse.
Do you think that the technology kind of affect art in a way?
Well, it affects how people do things, and it affects, it makes certain things very much easier to do, but then it makes it harder to be decisive, and it makes it harder to make choices, and a lot of people have too little direct experience of things, and a lot of their experience is very indirect. The art that interests me is always an art that has a kind of direct physical interest.
Transience is your first show since the 1918 in a London public institution. Why did you want it to come back? How was the idea? I know that you have created also the wallpaper inside and the light bulb that we have in Kensington Garden.
Well, I was invited to do it. Julia Peyton-Jones and Hans Ulrich invited me to do an exhibition at this time. They had the idea about this technological change that I had traced in my work without specifically intending to do by just drawing things over such a long period. I had inadvertently recorded this transition. The Serpentine is a very small gallery, it's a pavilion. It made it possible to do a very focused exhibition, very specific. People understand it, the scale of it is small, it's a very intense, small exhibition.
Yeah, also because it's winter, the colors of the drawings, they're more intense, even because the weather kind of allows it. Maybe in summer it wouldn't be such powerful image. You used to draw in a three-dimensional, and now you kind of shifted one dimension.
It's more flat. Flat.
But it's kind of, I feel that the colors, when I see the drawing, even if it's on one dimension, it looks 3D.
Yeah, well, I'm very interested in the sense of the physical presence of things. And one of the reasons I make the painting so strong in color is so they have a very strong physical presence.
Yeah.
A lot of people know my work through reproduction, and in reproduction, my work always looks very graphic. But when you're actually here and you're with the real work, you forget that and you realize that they're very physical, that the scale is very important, how big you are in relation to it, how big the painting is, how big the object is. Yeah. All those things affect you when you're looking at them.
And also about the drawings, you mostly draw the things that surrounds us, the things that we use every day. Mm-hmm. But I know that it's also hard you have to generalize it to keep it simple. The comb, for example, with the teeth, like if you draw all the teeth, it's going to be...
too much.
Yeah, it's too much. But if you don't draw them, maybe people wouldn't get it that it's a comb. So
yes, I like to draw everything that's necessary to understand something. And so there are certain things if I can't draw that, I don't try to make the drawing. And I never draw something that is obscure, that you wouldn't know. Some of the images are a little hard for some people to recognize, but once you say what it is, everybody knows immediately. There's certain objects in the exhibition, like particularly things like the tape cassette,
yeah.
which which nobody now, no young person would know what this is because they never see one.
Yeah, exactly.
And whereas for
used
older
it when I
people,
was young.
it's a memory of something which was everywhere at one time, and now it's
And
nowhere.
what about the fries?
I was very much my feeling that I needed to include a few things that were not technological. The two dominant forms of very contemporary objects, things in our world, are designer clothing, which is particularly, trainers. The other one is fast food.
That's true.
And so I never draw natural objects, but then you couldn't say a package of McDonald's fries is a natural object. So I wouldn't draw a potato,
Yeah.
but I can draw. But I can draw a box of fries.
Yeah.
Of one's understanding of the object, one sees the chips only mean something in relation to the carton. It's the carton and the chips that give you the image.
I like the idea that you always draw the empty spaces.
I've never drawn what's inside. In the old days when I drew a globe, I never put the map. When I drew a book, I never put words. You don't need to put in those things. I'm not drawing the information that it contains. I'm only drawing the object.
Michael Greg Martin's artwork are the clear demonstration that an object doesn't need to be ubiquitous to be drawn. It's the instability that interests the artist, the doubt that what you're going to represent might not survive forever.